Welcome to the Charity Commission for Northern Ireland's tutorial on the online Annual Monitoring Return form. The tutorial is one piece of a range of guidance and support tools aimed at supporting your organisation to submit your Annual Monitoring Return, the AMR, accurately and on time. All of the guidance, some of which is referred to in this tutorial, is available in the Annual Reporting section of the Commission's website at www.charitycommissionni.org.uk. Preparing to submit your return. This checklist, taken from the AMR Guidance Booklet, provides a summary of the information and documentation you may need to complete your charity's AMR.
Document information. 1. Unique password for online services. 2. The charity accounts for the relevant reporting year in PDF format. 3. The trustee's annual report for the relevant reporting year in PDF format. 4. The audit report or independent examiner's report, as appropriate, in PDF format. 5. Details and information required to answer the questions within the annual return form. See the table of information requirements at section 4.1, 4.2 and 4.3 of the How to Complete the Annual Monitoring Return 10-minute guide.
When you complete all the relevant questions in the AMR, you must also upload 3 separate documents in PDF format. These documents must each have a unique name, and each one must not exceed 20 megabytes. The documents you must attach are your charity accounts, trustee annual report, audit report or independent examiner's report. If you have produced one PDF report which includes all 3 documents, you can either upload the document 3 times or split the document and upload separately. If you upload the PDF 3 times, then remember that each PDF must have a unique name. Before we begin, disclaimer. The information and documentation submitted by the charity will automatically be posted to the Commission's online register. It is very important, therefore, that charities submit the correct documents. The Commission may not review the material submitted immediately, and we have no control over the actions of anyone who obtains or uses data from the public register. You should ensure you only provide the information requested by the Commission. By clicking Submit, you are certifying that you have understood what the Commission has asked you to provide, and that the charity's trustees have individually verified the content of the material intended to be submitted and consented to its submission. You must not attach bank statements to the documents submitted to the Commission. New traffic light system. A charity's entry on the register will show its status as part of a traffic light system. This will show if a charity is recently registered. This will display on all registered charities up until their first annual reporting deadline has been reached or the charity submits its first annual return online. Received on time displays if a registered charity has filed their annual reports on time. Received X days late displays if the annual reports have been received late. It will include the number of days the reports are overdue. If the charity is in default for 2 weeks or less, the status will change to amber and read overdue by a number of days. If the annual reports are more than 2 weeks late, this status will turn to red and read overdue by the number of days. Removed. This status displays if a charity has been removed from the register. This is usually because a charity has closed or merged with another charity. Using online services to submit your AMR. On the home page, click on the Online Services button. Enter your Northern Ireland Charity Registration Number. In the second box, please type or paste in the password you received with your welcome pack when your charity was registered. Then click Log On. If you have lost or forgotten your password, you can reissue one using the Forgotten Password button at the bottom of the screen. If your charity is due to file an AMR, this screen will appear after login. click on the Open Pending Annual Return button. This opens the AMR. Charity details. Introduction. A few tips about how to navigate the screen. At the top and bottom of the screens, you will see buttons that allow you to carry out functions such as print, go back to a previous page, or move on to the next page. On the left-hand side of the page is a progress bar that will highlight how far through the annual monitoring return you have progressed. The icons at the left-hand side of the page will indicate the sections which have been fully completed with a tick and those which are incomplete with a circle. As you complete the AMR online, only the parts of the online form that your charity must fill in will be presented to you. This depends on the size of your charity, based on the financial information your charity has already provided to the Commission. So, let's begin. Introduction. This is the first page of the Annual Monitoring Return, the AMR. The 6 screens in this section display the information that the Commission holds about the charity and asks for confirmation that these are correct. If the details have changed, please update them now. All registered charities must complete Part A of the AMR form, no matter how small or large their gross annual income. All registered charities with a gross annual income over £10,000 must at least complete Parts A and B of the annual monitoring return. Parts A, B and C are compulsory for charities with an income of more than £250,000. On this screen, confirm your organisation's name, any other name your charity is known by, and your registered charity number. Contact details. Trustee details. You must provide a personal mobile telephone number and/or email address for each one of the charity trustees listed, or confirm that they do not have one. Area of benefit. Part A. Operation outside the UK and Ireland. This screen asks you to provide spending information where your charity has operated in a country outside the UK and Ireland. There is a drop-down list of the countries against which you can add the total amount of expenditure for each country where your charity has spending. You are also asked to provide the total spend outside the UK and Ireland. If you have no spend outside of the UK and Ireland, you can skip this question. Other. Your charity classifications and bank account details. As you can see, these pages are self-explanatory and are pre-populated with the charity's information from the Register of Charities. Here you will be asked whether the charity works with children, young people and/or adults at risk of harm. If you do work with these beneficiaries, you must have safeguarding policies and procedures in place and ensure these are adhered to. Safeguarding includes activity which prevents harm from occurring and activity which protects those at risk from harm, abuse, neglect or exploitation. Information on minimum agreed standards and guidance for good practice is available via the links provided in the I button text. If you answer yes, that your charity does work with children, young people or adults at risk of harm, there will be a drop-down of other questions. All of these questions are compulsory. Who generally delivers the service to users? How does the charity work with children, young people and/or adults at risk of harm? Does your organisation have appropriate safeguarding policies and procedures in place to enable it to carry out work with this group of people? If you tick No, a text box will appear and you will be asked to provide an explanation. Are all staff or volunteers who undertake regulated activity Access NI cleared or overseas equivalent? How does the charity work directly with children, young people and/or adults at risk of harm to provide a regulated activity? You will also be asked if your charity provides services to children, young people and/or adults at risk of harm overseas. Part A. Finance. All registered charities must complete Part A of the AMR form, no matter how small or large their gross annual income. They must also sign the declaration at the end of the AMR. Confirm your charity's financial period, which is displayed on the screen. This will normally be 12 months long, but in certain circumstances it can be shorter or longer. If the information is incorrect, you cannot proceed any further, and you must go to View or Amend Financial Periods, where you can submit a request for the financial period to be amended. Once approval has been received from the Commission, you can return to complete the AMR. If this is your charity's first AMR submission, tick the box next to Reporting Year is First Financial Year. You must tell the Commission the type of accounts your charity has prepared. That is, whether the financial statements submitted have been prepared on a receipts or accruals accounts basis. The help note has a definition of these types of accounts. Enter the charity's income and expenditure in the boxes provided. Please round all figures to the nearest pound. It's important you take care to enter the correct amounts. The income and expenditure are based on the figures in the charity's accounts for the financial period you are reporting on. You will have prepared your accounts in either a receipts and payments format or accruals format, as appropriate. The definition of income and expenditure will differ depending upon which format you have used. Remember, if you are submitting receipts and payments accounts, you must include a statement of assets and liabilities. Depending on your charity, this may be a short statement saying the charity has a bank account and office furniture. See the guidance ARR03, Receipts and Payments Accounts for Smaller Charities, for details. There are help notes on this page. These will give you information on what is meant by financial period, income and expenditure, definition of income, definition of expenditure. Are the figures provided from consolidated accounts? Assets and liabilities.
Insert income below £250,000 under the charity's Income and Expenditure section of the form. The next question that will appear will show, have you included a statement of assets and liabilities? And if no, a message will prompt to say that this still must be reported with the accounts.
Please note that most of the information provided on this page is published on your charity's entry on the Register of Charities. Part A. Auditing. This question asks whether the charity's accounts were audited, assessed by an independent examiner, or not reviewed. This table will help you see what level of external scrutiny your charity needs. Independent examination is a requirement in Northern Ireland. Charity trustees should read the Commission's ARR02, Charity Reporting and Accounting, The Essentials, where they will find guidance on appointing an independent examiner and a template letter of engagement. Independent examiners must follow the 12 directions set out by the Commission and provide a report which adheres to the content requirements of independent examiner reports. The Commission has produced a guidance document, ARR07, Independent Examination of Charity Accounts, Examiner's Guide. If your charity's income is £250,000 or less, you must at least have your accounts independently examined. The charity trustees have the right to choose who does this examination, but that person must be independent of the charity, for example, not a relative or involved in the charity. The charity trustees must satisfy themselves that this person has the skills to do the examination. For example, the treasurer of another charity, or someone who had worked in a bank. If your charity's income is more than £250,000, but less than or equal to £500,000, charity trustees can choose to have the accounts independently examined. Again, the person appointed must be independent of the charity. But at this level, they must also be a qualified person, as listed in the Charities Act, Northern Ireland 2008. This list can be found in Section 3 of ARR07, Independent Examination of Charity Accounts, Examiner's Guide. If your charity's income is more than £500,000, you must have a full statutory audit in line with auditing standards. This must be carried out by a registered auditor. Remember, if your charity's governing document says you will have an audit, or if this is a condition of funding set out in a funding contract, then you must provide an audit, even if you fall within the threshold for an independent examination. Did the auditor or independent examiner that reviewed your charity accounts raise any issues of concern in their report? Did the auditor qualify the report? A qualified audit report is prepared when the auditor is not content with the accounts. Also note the information on this page, which will be made public. This information may be published as soon as you submit the annual monitoring return. Part A. Data breach. If your charity has had to report a personal data breach to the Information Commissioner's Office, ICO, in the last 12 months, you must answer yes and provide a brief description of the nature of the breach. Guidance on personal data breaches and when and how to report them can be found on the ICO's website. This screen asks you whether your charity is registered with another charity regulator. If yes, state your registered charity number with this other regulator below. The help notes on this page provide further information to assist you to answer these questions. Please note, regulation of charities in the Republic of Ireland is now undertaken by the Charities Regulatory Authority. Note, this is the last screen of Part A. If your charity's total income is £10,000 or less, the system will take you straight to the declaration page to complete your AMR. You can skip to the part of the video that covers the declaration. Part B. We have reached Part B of the annual monitoring return. All registered charities with a gross annual income over £10,000 must at least complete Parts A and B of the annual monitoring return and sign the declaration. Fundraising regulator. Indicate whether the charity raised funds from the public during the year. The questions on this screen are about fundraising. Your answers to these questions will not appear on your entry on the Register of Charities. Did the charity fundraise from the public during the year? Are you registered with the fundraising regulator? If you answer no to this question, a drop-down will appear to ask you to explain why your charity has not registered with the fundraising regulator. Did your charity spend more than £100,000 on fundraising expenditure? Does your charity use a commercial fundraiser? Tick on this list any other regulator or registrar besides the Commission which your charity is registered with. If the name of a registrar or regulator is not here, tick Other and provide the detail. Part B. Staff, volunteers and assets. State here how many staff were employed during the financial period. This should be a head count based on the payroll information submitted to HMRC. If you did not employ any staff, enter 0. UK and Ireland volunteers. A charity must record its best estimate of the number of individual volunteers involved in the charity during the financial year. This should be a best estimate of the actual number of individual volunteers, rather than a pro rata or full-time equivalent number. Do not include the charity trustees in this figure. If you had no volunteers, then enter 0. Charities must confirm whether they own or lease capital assets, land or buildings, and confirm if these assets have been used to advance the charitable purposes of the charity. Charitable expenditure. Charitable expenditure is spending that the charity has incurred for charitable purposes only. It includes such items as charitable grants and expenditure incurred on the administration of the charity. Other things that charities often need to spend money on but cannot be directly categorised as charitable expenditure include governance costs, such as accounting or auditing. These are essential to ensure that the charity is being run effectively. The Help Note has more information to help you answer this question, including some examples. Part B. Trustee and related party payments. These questions are about payments to charity trustees. You must answer these questions in respect of all charity trustees who served at any time during the financial period you are reporting on. This includes persons, companies or other bodies connected to the charity trustees. Before answering this question, read the help note, which provides more information on persons, companies, or other related bodies. Where the answer to any question is nil or none, please enter 0. State the number of charity trustees that were paid a fee or salary by the charity or related body during the accounting period. The next question asks for details of payments to charity trustees and related parties. Read the help note before answering this question. Further information and examples are provided in the guidance document Making Payments to Trustees, available on the Commission's website. Record the total amounts paid to charity trustees and related parties during the financial period. For being a charity trustee. To reimburse out-of-pocket expenses. For professional services provided to the charity. For other work done for the charity. For any other reason. State the total amount paid to charity trustees during the accounting period. Total amount paid to the related parties during the accounting period. Please state the largest amount owed to the charity by one charity trustee at any time during the financial period. If not applicable, enter 0. The last question on this screen asks you to record the largest amount owed to the charity by a related party at any time during the financial period. If this does not apply to your charity, enter 0 in the box. Transactions with trustees. These questions must be answered in respect of all charity trustees who served at any time during the financial period, and includes any persons, companies, or other bodies connected with them. Property is land or buildings, and assets such as vehicles, computers and equipment. Record the total amounts relating to transactions with charity trustees during the financial period, for property sold, for property bought, for land or buildings occupied, for use of charity assets. Further detail required. Part B. Gift aid. Charities must confirm if they are entitled to claim gift aid from HMRC and whether they have claimed gift aid relief against eligible funds. If a charity is entitled to claim gift aid but has not done so, a text box will ask you to explain why gift aid has not been claimed. Note: this is the last screen of Part B. If your charity's total income is equal to or below £250,000, the system will take you straight to the declaration page to complete your AMR. You can skip to the part of the video that covers the declaration. If your charity's income is more than £250,000, Part C of the Annual Monitoring Return will pop up. Part C. Part C. Breakdowns. Parts A, B and C are compulsory for charities with an income of more than £250,000. This section requires a more detailed breakdown of the information provided in the charity accounts and reflects the categories of the charity's SORP, FRS 102. Each of the questions on this screen are compulsory. The help notes on this page provide further information to assist you to answer these questions. Part C. Assets, liabilities and additional information. All the questions on this screen are compulsory, except for the box that asks for a breakdown of unrestricted funds into designated or unrestricted. This breakdown is voluntary. We have put a help note beside each question to provide you with guidance on how to answer it. This is how this financial information will appear on the Register of Charities. Declaration. When filling in the declaration and the final declaration, remember, you may be committing an offence if you give an answer you know to be untrue or misleading. In this section, charities are asked to make a declaration that the charity trustees have complied with their duty under charity law to have regard to the Commission's statutory public benefit guidance when exercising any powers or duties to which the guidance is relevant. Under the Charities Act, charity trustees must have regard to the public benefit statutory guidance provided by the Commission. This means charity trustees must be able to show that they are aware of the guidance and that they have taken it into account in making a decision where the guidance is relevant. You can read or download the public benefit requirement, as well as the accompanying glossary from the Commission's website. If you tick No, a text box will appear and you will be asked to explain why. Next, you must declare whether or not a serious incident has taken place in your charity, and if so, whether charity trustees have reported what happened to the Commission. Incidents should be reported to the Commission even if the trustees have already reported them to the PSNI, donors or another regulator. The Commission regards a serious incident as an adverse event, whether actual or alleged, which results in or risks a significant loss of charity money or assets, damage to charity property, harm to the work of the charity, its beneficiaries, or reputation. If a serious incident has occurred during the year and you have not already reported it to the Commission, you should do so immediately. For further information on serious incident reporting and how you report to the Commission, please see the guidance on our website here. I confirm that there are no serious incident or other matters that trustees should have brought to the Commission's attention and have not done so already. If you tick No, a text box will appear and you will be asked to provide an explanation. Final declaration. I certify that the information entered in this form is correct to the best of my knowledge. I confirm that the information shown in the online services for this charity is complete and accurate. I confirm that the information entered has been approved by the charity trustees and I am authorised to submit this information. Charity accounts. Many annual monitoring returns are prepared and submitted by an employee, volunteer or agent of a charity. The charity trustees are responsible for the annual return and for ensuring that accurate information is provided to the Commission. We recommend that a copy of the AMR is printed off and signed off by the charity trustees before submission. This also provides an opportunity for last-minute amendments to be made to the AMR. Here, we ask the person filling in the return to provide details of their name, role, contact number and email address. Once you have read the disclaimer, please tick the box to confirm that you have read and agree with the disclaimer. Then click Submit to send your annual monitoring return to the Commission. On submission, your AMR and attached files will be sent to the Charity Commission for Northern Ireland for processing. Your charity contact will be emailed a copy of this form for your records. You will also have an opportunity to complete our annual monitoring return post-submission survey, feeding back on your experiences of completing the annual monitoring return. This is optional, but we hope you will take some time to fill it in. Your comments are important to us, helping us to improve our processes and system for the future. We strongly advise you to go to your charity's entry on the Register of Charities and check what has been published. If you have published something in error, contact the Commission immediately and we will do our best to correct that error. Thank you for listening.